Okay, here we are in Chicago. The Pinball Expo 40th anniversary. Let's hit the show floor running. First up, the king of the show floor, Stern Pinball. Acres and acres of new pinball machines on display, available to play, all spread out on top of this beautiful red Stern carpeting. Oh, if only Isla was here, I could just picture her. Dainty little tootsies bounding across this plush landscape. It's quite a thing to see, but Stern Pinball, they're out in force. James Bond, Venom, X-Men, they're all out on the show floor for people to check out. Everyone's joining in the action. Look at this. Stern has their own bar. They're out here whipping up cocktails. People are getting tanked. They're playing John Wick. Nothing wrong with that. Not just that, look at this merch. Stern, strong display of merch out in force. I mean, look at some of this stuff. This Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla poster. Oh, my eyes are drooling. It's pretty. Not just that, Stern technology on display. They've got these huge glass sort of museum cases with components of some of their best boards. Here's a Venom on display. Okay, you can kind of take a look at the Stern technology. It's very impressive. But X-Men, the Uncanny X-Men, one of their newest releases, they have set up in this little cave, this little Stern cave, so you can really appreciate the bold, vivid lighting on this thing, and people are getting some of their first opportunity to play this very new game that just dropped this year. I'd like to stay in here forever in this cool, damp, cozy cave, but I have to bid it adieu. I have to leave the Stern cave to see the rest of the show floor. One of the main things people come to this expo for is to get an opportunity to play the brand new releases, the new pins that are just coming out or have just come out, just about to come out. And look at this long line of people all waiting to play Alice Adventures in Wonderland. Sexy Alice. This beautiful table by Dutch Pinball, available for people to check out. Here we go again, another cozy cave so you can appreciate the lighting on Galactic Tank Force, another recent release, this one by American Pinball, and this dude's loving it. Look at these neon lights just blasting his eyeballs. We got more brand new games on display. ABBA, new release from Pinball Brothers, along with Alien Limited Version. Look at the lighting on this thing. The theming is strong. We got another manufacturer, Spooky Pinball, out with their new release, Looney Tunes. Lots of Looney Tunes out here to play. But then there's another showstopper. I arrive at some soft blue carpeting, leading to this incredible booth with Jersey Jack Pinball out on the floor with their new Avatar pinball machine. They've got concert trusses set up. They've got spotlights with the Avatar logo. Multiple pins here available for people to check out in their beautiful little version of Pandora they've created on the show floor. Look at this guy, he's getting really into it. A little aggressive with that table, a little aggressive with that brand new pin. James Cameron is nervous, but the game looks good. It's got a massive display. Look at the size of the screen, the video screen on this thing, and just all kinds of fun chrome ramps in the back. Lots to interact with. This game is an absolute showpiece by Jersey Jack. It's not just new pinball games though, there's plenty of vintage pinball games from every era available to play on the show floor. Just pinball row after pinball row dotted about. There's pinball available everywhere for people of all ages to check out. Now this is an old school pinball show. There is a place for video games, okay? But they've gotta lurk over here in the margins, okay? If you're a video game, you gotta watch your back at this show. You gotta tuck yourself out behind the glowing neon art in the back alleys. That's where you're gonna find some of this stuff set up. Tucked between vendors, you might find some thumping arcade machines, or off on the periphery of the show floor, you may find a little arcade tucked into the corner near the exit, okay? okay. Video games are represented, but they're kind of staying in their lane a little bit here at this Chicago Pinball Expo. But it's a lot of fun because you're wandering around the show floor, you're turning corners in this maze-like layout, and you just really don't know what you're gonna come across next. So I actually really appreciate the way they've sort of mixed up everything on the show floor. And while wandering through these maze-like corridors of cabinets, we stumble across a competitive arcade gamer and a living legend in many circles. But he's got a bone to pick.
I am the current and reigning Galloping Ghost Pinball Expo champion. I was supposed to defend this belt this weekend, but Galloping Ghost is not here. They did not bring games out, so there will be no tournament, and I cannot defend my title. If I find some other tournaments, arcade tournaments on the convention floor, I'm gonna give it a go. I'm not done collecting belts.
Okay, so we wish Steven luck, hoping that he's gonna come across some worthy competition to chew up at the expo. But we move on now to the retro gaming marketplace, and oh boy is it vast, and they've got some very nice wares. Look, you're not gonna find a whole lot of like rock bottom bargains or anything like that here, but you're gonna find some incredibly friendly vendors who are stocking top-notch inventory, okay? Just about any system you're looking for software, there's a good chance you can find some stuff. Consoles, they've got just about everything, multiple versions available, in many cases in the box or just in general, very good condition. A really nice place to peruse. You can find both new and used older items available. Lots of stuff to sort through. So if you brought your billfold and it's stuffed full of greenbacks, you can definitely have a party here. Look at this, my heart started thumping when I see my beloved Jaguar boxed up for sale. Whole bunch of nice stuff in the retro marketplace.
So what's up, my name is Bob Rose. I am the director of Token Taverns. It's an arcade bar documentary. I filmed with 3 arcade bar owners over 2 years, and you see the ups and downs of running an arcade. I mean, it's got a lot of classic gaming, a lot of pinball, a lot of craft beer. It's kind of like Cheers for Nerds. We could say it's a place where everybody knows your game. So we are here at the Pinball Expo, kind of selling our wares. We have it on Blu-ray, we have it on DVD, and we have it on VHS, as well as our shirts here. And you know, people don't really buy movies anymore, so it's great to be here where people do really appreciate physical media and appreciate indie film. And we're kind of here at the source because we are part of the community that made this film. So we're just super happy to be here, man. Token Taverns.
But then look at this. Suddenly I come across this enormous bank of pinball machines, etc., wrapped in this police tape, cordoned off. I'm wondering what the heck's going on when I stumble across it's the Captain's Auction Warehouse. These are the guys that helped haul our Jaws pinball machine up a narrow flight of stairs to the 2nd story of Easy Allies studio, so I have to stop by and say what's up to the captain. What's the story with all these games?
All right, I'm Chris Campbell with Captain's Auction Warehouse here at the 40th Annual Pinball Expo. Live auction, pinballs and arcade games, classics to modern, plus hundreds of other games and pinball machines are here. This place is amazing.
Well, the captain is right. It is a great place to purchase a pinball machine if you came to the show, but they've also got just about every other pinball gadget and accessory and addition under the sun you could hope to have. Look at these fancy toppers with holographic displays on some of them. It doesn't translate on the camera so well, but it's a beautiful illusion to gaze upon. You want pinball flyers? We've got volumes of them, a veritable library of pinball flyers for sale. Of course, lots of playing fields, both new and refurbished. We've got some stunning back glass for sale, lovely artwork, perfect condition or restored, and even stumbling across ghosts of my past. Look at this, my long lost pinball love, Bride of Pinbot, available in the form of multiple knickknacks and tchotchkes. My heart is thumping. I miss her. You also got a whole bunch of other stuff that's not pinball for sale. Home popcorn machines, vintage posters. You've got Wurlitzers with bubbles bubbling, okay. Skee ball, tabletop ice hockey, and some really state-of-the-art custom air hockey tables. Beautiful gadgets, both new and old. Some really old stuff, in fact, and some of the stuff here has a lot of history to it. You can find some history at the pinball show, maybe stuff that's not for sale, like this over here. It's pretty much a museum set up on the show floor. You can peruse ancient pinball technology, gadgets, contraptions, and components of all sort, with all sorts of information here. It's a wonderful history lesson happening live before your eyes. And then you've got something like this, pinball restoration and education seminars happening on the show floor. Look at this super old mechanical machines. Before computers, before AI. And this is when I stumbled across Pinball Expo aficionado Tom Taylor to take a peek at some of the amazing history from this show.
Hello, my name's Tom Taylor. Welcome to Pinball Expo 40. Rob Burke had asked me to bring in some memorabilia since I'm one of the few people that have been to all 40 of the expos. So we can start out with all the name badges. I'm a saver and a collector, and every show from 1985 through last year, 2023, is reflected here. And over here are the various different programs. So in 1985, this was the program. In these cases, just are some other oddball things, some of the memorabilia from the very first show, a napkin and a cocktail straw from Pinball Expo 86. And I exhibited at Expo for 20 years. And one of the years I actually got the best exhibit, and that's what's here. Over here, this little ceramic pinball is something my wife made for me back in 1983. And we brought it to many expos and entered it in the different art contests, and it always did well. And it's exactly 1/10 scale. And then I've just got some of the posters that were from some of the early shows in the 1990s. The other thing is just the different tickets and passes for all the different tours. So this goes back to when we actually toured the Elvin G Company, Premier, Electrical Windings made all the coils, and then the different Bally Williams. And so I thought it was fun to keep those. The hero of the business, Steve Kordak. That's just a nice article on his involvement. And then over here are different entry tickets to the various tournaments every year. Here's the t-shirt from the very first Pinball Expo. Pinball Expo 85. Years ago, my daughter used to compete in the youth competition, and that's her trophy. This robot was an entry in the art contest probably 20 or 25 years ago here at Expo, and I knew the person who built it, asked if I could buy it, and he sold it to me, and it's right inside the front door of the building where we have our collection. But it's been a wonderful hobby. I've met hundreds of wonderful people. Expo is like a family reunion. You just get together and you catch up with people and, you know, kids, grandkids, marriages, everything. And so I'm happy to share this. And again, thanks to Rob Burke and his team for 40 years of expos.
Just beautiful stuff on display. And along with the pinball history, there's some historical video game stuff on display. Look at this. This guy didn't want to jump on camera, but every year he travels from Osaka, Japan, here to Chicago with his personal home console collection. Sets them all up on these tables with all these beautiful tube TVs, all for the purpose of bringing smiles to people's faces and partying with his fellow Pinball Expo attendees in the evenings. It was absolutely rad to see, a lot of nice stuff. And there's lots of other people here offering historical context to gaming in many forms.
Hello there, I am Clark Ablin. I am a part of the Suburban Chicago Atarians, which is a local group to the Chicagoland area, but we have members all over the place. We're hobbyists in Atari computers and Atari game systems. I'm a huge lover and collector of some of Atari's weirder items, such as their displays. One of them that I am exhibiting here today is actually the Sears Atari 2600 demonstration center. Inside of here is an Atari 2600 point of purchase or POP kiosk motherboard that they repurposed into a smaller countertop-sized unit. This one was specifically for Sears. One of the special things that Sears did with this one is they decided to fill in a few extra slots with some of their exclusive games that came out for the system. right here at the end and get slots number 43, 44, and 45. We have their 3 exclusives, Submarine Commander, Steeplechase, and in that empty slot is actually Stellar, I think it's Stellar Track. Yes. A few other fun things that I have here is I have an Atari jacket that you could get back in the day. This is one of the original jackets that was a retail item, and one more impressive thing being the Atari banner. So I actually have a full store display banner. This came from a gentleman who sold Atari computers up in Wisconsin around, I think he said mainly the late 80s and 90s. But he had a couple of these that he would bring with to not only sell at his shop, but also he would exhibit at a few other locations from what I was told. Luckily, I now have one here, original from 1982, that I can show off alongside my kiosks and my other displays. And I'm just very happy that a lot of people can find themselves feeling that same, like, oh my gosh, here is an Atari 26, I want to play all these games, but you know, that store experience can't be found anymore. So being able to share this is just a great thing that I just love to do.
And if you haven't had enough pinball yet, there's more pinball. Look at this. The ancillary rooms in the convention center, absolutely stocked wall to wall with machines for you to play. They got all sorts of stuff in here. They got a Lethal Weapon 3 for Damiani, one of his favorite movies. They've got all sorts of oddball machines I haven't seen before, or I have seen, and it's nice to be reunited with. And here, I even stumble across my lost love, Bride of Pinbot, and there she is, with a nice gentleman who I stand watching manipulate her mechanical wonders before my eyes. And yes, he brings her to life with a sparkle in her eye. Oh, I covet thee. I covet the relationship that they share right now. But there's plenty of other games for me to check out. Massive rooms with tournaments taking place. There's speakers, all kinds of fun stuff. As you heard, this is like a pilgrimage for so many people every year. Such a special and fun event. If you haven't been, check it out. I can't wait to come back. I hope to make this a tradition for myself and my family in the future. Maybe you're not near Chicago, but you do have a regional pinball or gaming show near you. Check it out. They're too much fun if you haven't been, and you already know what I'm talking about if you have. Thank you to Stern Pinball, and congratulations to the Pinball Expo on its 40th glorious year, running strong. Let those silver balls roll, baby. I'm in Chicago and I'm loving it. We've got more videos coming from the Chicago Pinball Expo, so keep your eyes out on the channel. And also, if you want to keep the pinballs rolling, please head over to patreon.com/easyallies and become a supporting member. The dollars you donate today will lead to the multi-balls of the future.